Perfect.
Don't worry about it now. The gate's getting ready to go down. The truck's getting ready to get hit by the gate.
2:39 p.m. We got a northbound on the Portsmouth sub on a medium approach medium. I'm assuming this is F767.
On Q130.
He released them. We're not slamming Blumenthal here. Hillary is. But then he continued when they came in. I want to know why Blumenthal can get to her anytime, any day, and our own ambassador requesting help.
Oh, good, thanks.
Why nobody else can? When you look at what Blumenthal said, she was forced to just admit that Blumenthal, this is big too, and Blumenthal is not my advisor as Secretary of State. But he is. That's the whole point. She has him around as a release valve, a comfort valve. They are fellow ideological travelers. Hillary and Sidney Blumenthal are identical, liberal, extreme radicals from the 1960s. And they're no different than Obama, folks. They are. They're all the same, and they all have the same agenda. And Hillary is getting away here with this nice and reserved and compassionate and so forth. And what's happening here is that the pictures are not lying. When she gets irritated, her facial expression changes. She can't hide.
Thanks for running me up here.
Irritated, and the real Hillary Clinton's been on display here. Now, most of this is not going to see the light of day in the drive-by TV networks. Anyway, I really, folks on hold, people on the phones, I really appreciate your patience. But as I say, this is Improv today. We're going where the news goes.
That place on the left was where I was talking about that Peanut Kids Company store. I pulled there before.
If I pull right there, you'll be able to see the train.
Do you think that Bernie Sanders is a for-real candidate, or do you think he's a fake candidate trying to make Hillary Clinton look like she's got competition?
No, I think he's a real. I think he's a real candidate.
Okay.
Excuse me. Now wait. That's not to say that his existence does not permit Hillary to take advantage of make herself look like a moderate. Because remember, this country is not a nation of radical leftists. They are but 10-20% of the population. Honest to God, folks, it's no bigger than that. And their constituency groups are even smaller. LGBT, 1/10 of 1%. Gay population, 2 or 3%. Made to look like half the country. They're not.
Do you think his supporters would support Hillary Clinton if he said that he's not going to be allowed to get the nomination? If his supporters believe that, do you think it's likely his supporters would throw the support behind Hillary Clinton?
I still think it's up for grabs. I think it depends on how he loses. If it appears that she is cheating to force him out, then his
Long train.
Remember, his supporters are a bunch of dupes. These are the true believers who think that Bernie Sanders is a real deal. Is the only authentic. His supporters are the real McCoy. They are genuine far-left radical extremists, and they cover all demographics and all age groups. And
what about the Trump and Carson supporters? Do you think if they appear, the same thing, same question, do you think Trump and Carson supporters would get angry at the party and throw their support behind whoever the eventual candidate is if it wasn't?
That's dicey.
Or do you think they would stay at home?
That's dicier because the Republican Party is telegraphing they're taking Trump out. The Republican Party is leaving it to no doubt their objective is to destroy Trump. And if they succeed, I don't know. We already had 4 million Republican voters sit home in 2012. So past experience is if it happened once, it can happen again and again and again. So that's a dicier situation. Don't forget Jeb Bush and his original statement are close to one of the first things he said when he got official not running for president. That was the objective, was to win the nomination without debate. Don't forget that. How do you do that? You do that with the donors. You do that with the money and the RNC, and you welcome all of the conservative candidates you can, and you split their support and money. And even if you're sitting there at 5, 6, 7%, somebody else is 15 or 20, eventually they're going to go away. And you are going to be seen as the only electable mainstream candidate rather than some radical right-winger. That's the theory. I don't know that... I think the establishment already looking at a substitute, and that would be Ruby. In case Jim, I don't know, this is all speculation now. But the Carson and Trump voters, it's a dicier proposition than it is Bernie's voters being mad and not voting for Hillary. I mean, look at Hillary's voters ended up voting for Obama when it came down to it, 2008. So they have let's face it, they have a much better track record at coming together. Even if it's just for one day on an election, they have the ability to do that. We haven't shown that we can say what needs to be said. Right on the EIG network, AM 790 WNIS. Bad news for men over 50. Right now, half of you have a growing prostate problem. You know it if you pee more often than before, wake up to go during the night, and have a drop in intimacy. That's your growing prostate talking, and it's not going away on its own. Now the good news. Super Beta Prostate is the #1 non-prescription formula made for you with natural ingredients. A recent survey of Super Beta Prostate users shows over 86% report waking less often to use the bathroom, and 95% would recommend it to a friend. Many saw an improvement in intimacy. Try a bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Call 1-800-586-6311. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Don't let your growing prostate call the shots in your life. Join the millions of men enjoying the benefits of Super Beta Prostate. Call now for your free bottle. Hurry, this offer won't last. Call 1-800-586-6311. 1-800-586-6311. Hi, I'm Scott Carter, CEO of Lear Capital. For months now, Rush listeners have seen Lear on Fox News talking about another financial crisis. And we're seeing real evidence that something big is coming. Some of the world's largest banks are building huge stockpiles of physical gold and silver. Lots of it. JP Morgan bought 2,000 tons of silver, and Goldman Sachs bought over 7 tons of gold. Whether it's a major collapse in the financial markets or more money printed in
take a nap.
inflation, they're getting ready for something. It happened in 2001 and again in 2008. The markets crashed, and both times gold and silver prices skyrocketed. So isn't it time for you to get ready too? Call Lear Capital today for the industry's best research on the coming rise of gold and silver.
And that's the end of the train.
There we go. You taped it.
Alright, I believe that was F767
No, it's
2010.
730. That's gotta be. That looks like Q130 to me, but it could be.
Alright, well I didn't get the symbol, but that was the intermodal train, so there you go.